Alright guys and girls, today we're going to be setting up a simulator, a racing simulator machine. I've already done a flight simulator machine, and what we're doing here is we're using a set of Dell Precision T3500 machines, and these came with a Xeon W3530 running at 2.8 gigahertz. That's a 6-core CPU. And they have 12 gigs of DDR3 RAM, and they came with no hard drive, but we're installing an SSD, a 512 gig SSD, and some GPUs. And as you can see here, this machine already has been set up with a flight simulator setup. It's got the Thrustmaster yoke and some other accessories here, and we've done some upgrades on it, which we'll do as well to the computer we're setting up for the race simulation. So the upgrades that we've done to this are, we added a USB 3.0 PCI Express card for Wi-Fi, because I needed to install a high-speed Wi-Fi adapter so that we can use the high-speed internet connection much better, because USB 2.0 just wasn't cutting it. And I've installed a GeForce GTX 1070 video card, plus, like I mentioned, a 512 gig SSD. Oh, and the most important upgrade I think that we've done is we upgraded the CPU from the Xeon W3530 to the Xeon X5960. Oh, sorry, 5990. Which runs at 3.46 gigahertz and has a boost speed of over 4 gigahertz. And it also goes from 6 cores to 8 cores. So you can see here, the flight simulation works really well. We get like around 30 frames per second, 25 to 30 frames per second. Which is pretty good, considering that, you're not going to believe this, I got these computers for $35. Each of them is $35 with 12 gigs of RAM, the Xeon CPU, motherboard, power supply, and they even came with video cards, but they're not, the video cards are going to be upgraded. So I think that's a pretty good deal. So $35 for the computer, I guess $40 for the 512 gig SSD, and about $200 for the video card. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do here is we're going to take off a couple of plastic pieces here. This is a very modular case, so you can take this off, and this has to come off in order for the large video card over here, which we're going to install. We're going to install the video card, the SSD, upgrade the CPU, and we're going to use this 3D printed adapter to install the SSD right here. But first, like I mentioned, let me go ahead and take this off, and we'll take out the video card as well. So the video card, these guys I believe came with an FX 580. Let me see. Oh yeah, there you go. It is a Quadro FX 580, which is a decent card for some gaming, but not for the kind of gaming that we want to do. So we'll set this aside and maybe use this in another like lower end computer. But okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this plastic off, and then I'll show you how we install the video card. Okay, so we have to take off these screws right here. Two screws that hold the hinge in place. Then we just wiggle it out, and now that's free. And another thing that we need to clear out is, in order to get the whole entire video card in like this, so you can see this part right here, it comes off. Luckily this case was designed so that I can take off these screws right here. You can come and take a look. And this basically comes off like this, and now there's an empty space. If you can come take a look from this angle, now we have all the space there for the video card to go in. And I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna take the video card and push this back. Come on, open. All right, there you go. Now the slot I'm gonna use is this blue one, and I need 2 openings for that. So I'm gonna go and slide the video card in just like that, and then I just close this off and the video card is installed. Now notice over here, look at the web of the video card. This right here is a power plug. The motherboard came with only a 6-plug adapter. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ta-da! So the motherboard came just with a 6-plug. So I'm gonna go ahead and get an adapter that I bought, and we'll use that to plug that in. So let me show you that. Okay, so here's that adapter I mentioned. And the other computer I used a 6 to 8. This one is a 6 to 88, but that should be fine. So because one is just not gonna be used. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug in the 6 into here, and then we're gonna plug in one of these into the video card. There you go, and that's it. Video card is ready. Okay, so the next upgrade we're gonna do is we're gonna replace the CPU. This is the Intel Xeon X5960, which is an 8-core CPU with 12 megs of cache and 3.46 gigahertz base clock. And we're going to use some of this thermal paste as well. And in order to do that, what we need to do is there's a clip here. I'm going to pull, and then this whole panel kind of lifts up out of the way. Let me show you how. You see how that's lifted up? And this is the heatsink that we have. This one is a little bit different than the other computer. So hopefully it's you know, we'll see. The heatsink should be more than enough. The TDP for both CPUs is pretty much the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off these screws. Let me see. Let me do it at a diagonal so that there's less flex on the motherboard. Alright, so the heatsink comes off. Probably going to wipe that off. And that's the CPU. So I'm going to unhook the clip and then lift up this plate, and the CPU comes off. You got to be very careful with the motherboard. So that's the old one. And this is going to be the new one. And that goes with these tabs towards me, like the other one. We're going to be very gentle here when we just sit it down. There you go. Now it's sitting in there, and then we just put over the cover and we put the clip underneath like that. So now I got to put some thermal paste and put the heatsink back on. Alright, so I went ahead and installed the heatsink, as you can see down there. That's all ready to go. And I lowered this panel. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to mount the SSD. So I'm using this 512 gigabyte SSD inland. I got it for like 40 bucks on Amazon. And I got this 3D printed bracket that is meant to fit into these Dells. I got this from Etsy for like 4 bucks. But this is gonna go like this. It's gonna mount here, and then once I put it in here, I'm going to be able to plug in these SATA cables right into the drive. So I'm going to mount that and then I'll show you the result. Okay, so let me show you what I did. I installed the SSD on the 3D printed adapter, and then I installed it there, and then I used the SATA 0 port to connect it. So now we're ready to install an operating system. We're ready with a video card, and that's it. We're gonna be using a USB Wi-Fi adapter that I'm gonna plug in order to get this loaded on, and then we're gonna install Windows 10. So let me go ahead and close this off and put it underneath the desk, and then I'll show you how it works. Okay, so the good news is that the computer is working great. So you can see here, I can accelerate, and the frame rate is pretty high. This is a Dirt 4, I believe, and it's really crisp and detailed. Unfortunately, I think I made a mistake. I think this steering wheel doesn't work with most games that we've tried. We've tried Forza 5, we tried this one, we tried Need for Speed, and the steering wheel is not detected. So I went ahead and ordered a replacement. It's a Logitech G920, and that's going to be here tomorrow, and we're going to give that a try and see if that works. But for now, I'm going to end this video here and then maybe give an update once we have the steering wheel working. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with what this old Xeon CPU can do, and pretty happy with this video card so far. So yeah, if you like this kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below on what you think about this build. I have a bunch of other videos coming up as well with some other stuff. So yeah, stay tuned.